Cat and the Rat. How you doing? It's Vito and Hempstead.
Hey, Vito.
Hey,
How you
Vito.
doing, buddy?
How are you?
I'm blessed. I'm too blessed to be stressed, as they say. How
Love
are
it.
you?
We're good. Yeah, last time you called, Pizza Squirrel was out. You had a very controversial take on the quarterbacks. That was a bit of a barn fire.
Yeah, happy I missed that one, Vito.
And I believe I was proven right 100%.
I think you were proven wrong completely.
Well, hear him out.
Patrick Mahomes and Jalen Hurts are in the Super Bowl.
Of course, look at, Andy Reid counts for 3 or 4 white people. So I think it was his leadership that brought him to the Super Bowl. And it's no coincidence it's his 4th or 5th one.
This is an unpopular opinion. I think he's the most overrated coach in the history of time. The only thing he did good was draft Patrick Mahomes. I could win a Super Bowl with Patrick Mahomes.
That's a pretty good thing to do, though.
That's true. That is very true.
Sorry, Vito.
I agree. He wants to be in commercials, the guy, the fat piece of shit. Enough already.
What annoys me about that is that he's funny in the commercials. And as a comedian, it hurts me that he's a better comedic actor than me.
He actually has relatively good. He has good timing, which is something we're all striving for here on Cat Daddy and the Pizza Squirrel.
Yeah, he's derivative. He's derivative of John Candy, and the timing is all in the edit. All right, anything that you see Andy Reid do in a commercial, SCTV was doing 40 years ago.
You're making the cat have the cat's laughing.
Reid is derivative of John Candy. This guy, I mean, it's never. Man, that's funny. What is the Super Bowl party?
He's not doing anything that the state or Stella didn't do 25 years ago. All right, I've seen it. I've seen the what's it called? Bob and David. They did all that sketch comedy a lot better than those stupid commercials.
Fair enough. That's a good point.
I think the cat was going to ask what your Super Bowl's looking like. What a Super Bowl's party's looking like in Hempstead.
What does a Vito from Hempstead Super Bowl party look like?
Well, I'm going to get together with the fellas in what I like to call my man cave. I don't know if you ever heard that term before, but it's a fun little word that we got. I just hung up a few extra Robert De Niro posters for a couple of my buddies to come over. We're going to watch the Super Bowl, and we're going to turn it off at halftime. I'll tell you that much.
Not a Kendrick Lamar fan?
We're going to change the channel because Kendrick Lamar, he's the one who's got beef with Drake, and he only hates Drake because he's Sicilian.
I didn't even know that. Drake's Sicilian?
Everybody's got a problem with they're breaking the kid Drake's balls because he's a Sicilian paisan.
I thought he was.
They want to say he's Dominican. He's this and that. He's an Italian.
I always thought he was half black and Jewish, but I don't.
Does half black and Jewish make an Italian? That kind of makes sense.
I don't know which place to start with the offensiveness of that statement, but you watch your mouth.
I'm not even trying to cause trouble. I just think maybe half of a black and half of a Jewish person kind of makes an Italian, and that's because that's what he is.
They're trying to. Those two groups are trying to claim Drake. He's a Sicilian. He's from Trenton, New Jersey.
Vito,
I did not know that.
And he's made more hits. He's got more slaps than the Beatles. All right.
I did not strike you as a Drake fan. It's very interesting.
Would Drake be your halftime performer if you were in charge here of the event?
No, Paul Anka. And I don't know why. They had the Super Bowl and Paul Anka's phone doesn't ring. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Give us some real music.
Be nice.
I don't know if I know an Anka.
Paul Anka?
Classic. Is there any?
Oh, you don't know? Whoa! The Pizza Squirrel. You don't know Paul Anka?
I know who Paul Anka
Fly
is.
me to the moon. Let me play with your balls. That's Paul Anka.
I didn't know that was Paul Anka.
Paul Anka is also Canadian.
Yeah, I know that. I know he's a Canadian. Interesting. We were singing that song there today. It's
That's also Frank Sinatra. So I don't know.
Oh, is it Frank Sinatra? Okay.
Yeah.
It's a standard. I would have said Tony Bennett, but he's no longer with us. Now,
Paul Anka's Put Your Head on My Shoulder.
Oh yes. Okay, I know that. I know that. Any fun prop bets you're looking forward to, Vito?
I'm taking the over on the U.S. economy under Donald Trump. That's the prop bet that I'm taking. All right,
It's
That's
interesting.
I did take out a second reverse mortgage on my home once Trump was inaugurated.
Double down,
So I'm
baby.
about to achieve a level of wealth that has never been seen.
We try not to talk politics too much on the show, but we started off the podcast talking about this trade war. If you have any, any input on how Canada or Mexico would be beneficial for them in these tough times.
Well, all I know is speaking of trade war, they traded Anthony Davis for the kid Luka. Luka Doncic is going to the Lakers, and let me tell you, he needs to trade the cannolis for a little salad once in a while. The kid's looking heavy.
Think so? I mean, you're on the
That's
heavier
a
side,
trade
but you're not
war
an NBA player, so
and
that's
he's
fair.
losing.
You're a complicated man.
I'm athletically big.
Sure.
Yeah, all right. I'm very agile. And I have deep reserves of anger that can make me move very fast.
I could see that like a gorilla of some sort. It's interesting that you're so pro Donald Trump, yet you have a bunch of pictures of Robert De Niro in your man cave, who was very anti Donald Trump. You're just a very you're a very interesting man.
I'm very complex, and I only respect Robert De Niro's characters.
Okay.
I would never associate with a man from theater type from Tribeca. I
separate the art from the artist, so that's good.
I like to pretend that Jimmy Conway is a real person, and I talk to him for advice when I need it in my man cave.
Sure. Jimmy Conway, what character is that?
That was Goodfellas, was it not?
Come on, cat. You never saw Goodfellas.
Of course I did. I just forgot what his name was.
He was Irish, and that's why he was not a made man.
Morty's wigs never come off.
Nobody's perfect.
Absolutely. I always thought Casino was just like about just how he was pussy whipped the whole time. That's why Goodfellas was better.
Who we got here in the big game, though? Vito?
Eagles or Chiefs? What do you got, buddy?
It's a tough one with my Giants. I can't stand to see the Eagles win. But the fat fuck Andy Reid, I don't like him either. Oh, I think I got to go.
Robert De Niro, gun to your head.
I think I got to go Phil Simms. I think Phil Simms comes in for an injured Patrick Mahomes and starts playing at a level of quarterback that the Chiefs have never seen, and he wins the Super Bowl for the Chiefs, scoring 8 touchdowns.
Phil Simms is 69 years old.
I thought it was Chad Henne. Phil Simms, did they sign him this week? I must have missed
Carson
that.
Wentz is a backup.
I thought maybe this Luka chatter dominated the airwaves. I did not know that. Phil Simms, are we hearing this right? Is this a bad connection?
Phil Simms, write it down. He's 69 years old. Listen to me. My doctor told me that my biological age is north of 72, even though I'm around 48 chronologically.
Sure.
But all that being said, this past season in men's rec league softball, I batted .318, all singles, but still .318, and I was heavily winded by the time I got to first.
Impressive.
That'll get you in the Hall of Fame.
But you're playing a bunch of other 48-year-old men, too. Phil Simms is going to be out there with a bunch of young...
When you're playing for the Chiefs, it's all scripted. It's like you're playing against a bunch of 48-year-olds.
You're starting to make sense.
Phil Simms, there's no reason why he can't win the Super Bowl with the Chiefs this year.
You believe that? You believe because we always have some questions about the Chiefs and the refs and stuff like that. You're one of these people who actually believe that the refs are contributing to their success over the years?
There's no doubt about that. The refs are pulling the strings.
100%.
That's why I placed the prop bet. I bet 50 Trump coins on Phil Simms touchdowns over 3.5 as my prop bet in the Super Bowl.
That's got to be plus. That's got to be close to plus 2 million or something. That has to be high. I don't have the numbers in front of me.
A down payment on a condo.
You can buy a lot of Canadian maple syrup with that kind of money. I'll tell you that much. Before we let you go, because I like to just get your temperature on things that are going on in the country and in the world and all that stuff. Do you have any thoughts on all these?
People look to me for my takes all the time.
100%. That's we love to have you.
I'm one of the great public intellectuals in America right now.
We won't argue with that. Do you have any thoughts on all these planes crashing? There was the plane crashing in D.C. last week and then Philly a couple days later. Any thoughts on this? Is there something going on here?
See, that's why whenever I get on a plane, first thing I do is I stop by the cockpit. I want to make sure my pilot is a good kid, all right? So I grab him by the face. I give him a kiss on either cheek, and I say, let's say a quick prayer to St. Anthony right now that we find our way on this journey. I do a quick prayer always with the pilots. I give them a little slap in the ass, a little Rocky motivation speech, and I say, there you go. That's what you got to do. People are not checking in with their pilots before they take off, and now people are taking nosedives left and right.
I'm surprised they let you do that. Do you travel often?
I kind of make my own. I go down to Florida a couple of times a year, and I go to the Philippines every now and then for reasons I'm not going to get into on the air.
Sure.
But my point is, when you get
Trump
on a
coins
plane,
spend good down there.
outside the cockpit, bring them a couple of pastries, give them a kiss, and go take your fucking seat.
I heard they're not. I heard that they're saying they're not going to be able to call it the cockpit in a couple of years, just because of the way things are changing. PC wise, they're changing it. I forget what they were calling it.
That's good. They're gonna call it the pussy hole or something.
Okay, Vito.
They're gonna make all the pilots be girls.
Okay, Vito. You're a great guy, and we hope you have a wonderful Super Bowl and enjoy the man cave.
God bless. Go Giants.
Thanks, Vito.
St. Anthony, I have to say, is the patron saint of lost items. He's praying to the wrong saint in that regard. I don't know who the patron saint of please make this plane land without exploding is, but it's definitely not St. Antonio. But always fun to hear video.
Yeah, I was just so immersed in the call.
Great question, by the way. Everybody tunes into Cat Daddy and the Pizza Squirrel to know what Vito's take is on air traffic control.
I know it was early in the call, but him saying Andy Reid was derivative of John Candy really broke me.
Dude, I've never seen you laugh like that. You laugh like this. Your real laugh is like this.
I've just never heard it before.
It was crazy.
It's quite the comparison.